where she's getting married. So we went
Oh, wow.
went up there and saw all the seals and everything.
Yeah.
Oh my! It is just that
Has she
place
learned
is
how to
just
surf?
no.
Okay, I was like, she lives in Carroll.
No, there is some surf. Like here, but well, I think what's really cool is going to the ocean and seeing sunset. Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in we go down to Coronado a lot, which is
Beautiful.
yeah, and then you have that little point that sits out
Yeah.
because there's like a little harbor where the beach is, and
It's 7:15. I'll call this January 8th, 2024 meeting of the Montgomery County Board of Supervisors to order. I will be presiding over the first part of the meeting since it's the organizational meeting for this year. First, please rise as you're able and join me in a moment of silence, and then I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Let us pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Each year at the beginning of the organizational meeting, the board elects a chair and a vice chair, and the first item of business this evening is to elect a chair for the board. So I'll open the floor for nominations.
I'd like to nominate Supervisor Biggs to be chair.
I second.
And I make a motion that we halt the nominations. What's the word?
There's a motion to close the nominations. All in favor of closing the nominations, say aye.
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 We have a motion on the floor to elect Supervisor Mary Biggs as chair. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
We should do a roll call vote for that, just for the minutes, yes.
Vicky can do it. Hold on. Mr. Fidzikowski?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Mr. Kitts?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Well, before we get to our next order of business, I want to thank the board for this opportunity. And I look at it as we're a team, and we're here for the citizens, and we're going to do what we do best, and that's work together and really help our county. So with that being said, our next order of business is to elect a vice chair. And the floor is open for a nomination.
I'd like to nominate Supervisor Steve.
Okay, Supervisor Fidzikowski, you're nominating Supervisor Fidzikowski.
Second, and I motion to close nominations.
Okay, could we have roll call on closing the nominations for vice chair, please?
Mr. Kitts?
Aye.
Mr. Fidzikowski? Aye. Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Chair Biggs?
Aye.
7 ayes.
All right. Congratulations.
No, that was to close.
Just to close.
Yeah. Okay, we ready? Congratulations are coming.
Good save.
Okay, so now we have a motion on the floor to elect Supervisor Fidzikowski as our vice chair.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Kitts?
Aye.
Mr. Fidzikowski?
Aye.
Chair Biggs?
Aye.
7 ayes.
All right. Come on over. Okay.
You could come over here.
Everybody okay? All right. All right, our next order of business here is that we need to go ahead and have approval of our meeting dates. And we traditionally have met the second and the fourth Monday of the month at 7:15. If we have a closed meeting, it can be at 6 or whatever the county administrator might send to us if it's a different time. And so we need to make sure that we pass a resolution to keep it that way unless somebody else wants to bring up another way.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Kitts?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Fitchukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Motts?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Chair Biggs?
Aye.
7 ayes.
All right, and our next order of business is to pass the rules of order and parliamentary procedures. And those have, of course, you have those in front of you. They've been sent and everything. Do we have a motion to do so?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second. I'd like to discuss, though.
Okay.
Can we move the public address to 5 minutes?
Okay, for the new members, right now, it's at 4 minutes. It used to be 5 minutes for a very long time, and it was changed, I believe, 8 years ago. And so that's what Supervisor Bone is asking is, can we change it back to the 5 minutes? You want to make that in form of a motion to do that? Marty, how do we do it?
Since the motion that's before the board does not have 5, it has 4, it would mean a motion to amend and then a second in order to vote on that, right?
I make a motion to amend the rules of order and parliamentary procedure so that the public address can move back to 5 minutes.
Okay, is there a second?
And it's Rule 16, which now says it's limited to 4 minutes.
Okay. Is there a second to Supervisor Bone's motion?
That's fine. Just wanted to
Okay.
put it out there.
All right. So do we have to vote on that, Marty, before we vote on the?
No, it fails because there's no second, so now the original motion's back on the table.
Yeah, all righty. I saw we have Marty here. Okay, so let's go back to voting for the rules of order and parliamentary procedures as they have been presented. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Fitchukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Motts?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Mr. Kitts?
Aye.
Chair Biggs?
Aye.
7 ayes.
All right, our next order of business is to pass our Code of Ethics and Standards of Conduct.
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Fitchukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Motts?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Mr. Kitts?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Chair Biggs?
Aye.
7 ayes.
All right. Okay, so that leads us to a public hearing that we have scheduled today for the fiscal year 2024-2025 county budget. No one has signed up for the public hearing, but if somebody wants to speak to the budget, they may. And I'll go ahead and tell you that if you do come up, you will have 4 minutes to address the board on that issue, and our timer will go off. The yellow light will go off at 3 minutes. Is there anyone that would like to come forward at this time? Okay, seeing no one, we'll close that public hearing. And let me get the guidelines for our public address, and I will read these. Okay, the Board of Supervisors allows citizens to present comments on issues deserving their attention during public address at each meeting. If you wish to speak, please observe the policy regarding public address and the presentation of visuals. And here is the policy. A public address sign-up sheet will be available outside the meeting room. Speakers are requested to provide their name, address, and phone number and list the subject matter on the sign-up sheet. Following the names on the sign-up sheet, other speakers will be allowed. Each speaker has 4 or minutes, whether speaking as an individual or a representative. All comments must be directed to the chair and other supervisors from the speaker's lectern at the front of the room. Please begin by stating your name and address. Debate between speakers and members of the audience will not be allowed. Speakers may leave any written statements and/or comments to the supervisors with the board clerk. Speakers will be judged out of order should the speaker engage in personal attacks, use profanity, or abusive language, or debate with the audience and not address the supervisors. Accepted etiquette is not to applaud or make loud noises. We have no one signed up, but if there's someone that would like to come forward, this would be the time to do so.
Good evening. My name is Bob Beard. I live here in Christiansburg. And, I was reviewing the form that we just had through this election cycle, and it seemed like all the board of supervisors, all they kept on talking about was budget cuts to the school board. And so what I did was I went online and I've had several discussions with other folks, and it seemed like all the Democrats, all they want to say is there was a cut in school budgets. And I never got that memo. I didn't see anything about that whatsoever. I know I didn't go to school here. I went, from North Carolina, and I didn't go to Virginia Tech. I didn't go to MCPS. But when I look at it, when I read this, there's nowhere on here there was a budget cut for the schools. Nowhere in Haiti, and since 2014 it's on here. There's no budget cuts on here. If there is, please share it with me and educate me on why I'm misreading this document that's on your website. Okay. And so since 2019, we've had a close to a 20% increase in school budget. Went from $48 million to $58.4 million. From 2023 to 2024, we went $56 million to $58.4 million. So I'm not sure who's giving out the misinformation or how that's being derived, but somehow, I take it back. I need help. I'm not seeing, I didn't get the memo. I'm not seeing where there was a budget cut. Also, since 2019, we had that big increase there. I want to know what's the increase in student population? So since 2019, we've had a 5% decrease in student enrollment at MCPS, a 5% decrease. We've doubled the number of homeschool students. And this year alone, we've had 38 additional students who signed up to be homeschoolers. Okay, so we have 761 students out of 9,700 who are being homeschooled. So my question is why? Why? Is it true that is it true that we're spending $95 million for the Christiansburg High School renovation? Salem only spent $35 million for the same renovation. Both schools are going from 1,200 students to 1,600 students in full capacity. Why are we spending 3 times more than Salem did? And if I was a student or parent from East Montgomery, I'd ask, what about a track? There's you need $1 million for a track. You guys won't do a track. You just spend $60 million surplus for Christiansburg High School. And next is when you guys have your meeting with the school board. We have so much growth in Blacksburg. When is MCS going to look at redrawing the lines to move students from Blacksburg to the underutilized East Montgomery and Auburn High School? Guys, 50% of our county lives paycheck to paycheck. We're at $34 trillion in debt. We can't afford new taxes. Biden's new budget bill is asking for a $7.5 trillion budget tax increase. We just can't afford it to have a bunch of more taxes in here for something that doesn't appear to be the issue. So, I know we're going to start working on budgets for next year, and so I'm here tonight to get started with. We need to leave the taxes alone and leave property taxes alone and keep so people can afford it. I didn't even talk about community energy and they're raising their costs and so forth, inflation. They donated $5.7 million to Democrats and $5.2 million to Republicans and $9.1 million in other categories. Yet they're going to raise our costs to warm our homes, and they're going to give all that money to state politicians, the legislators. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. So I'm just going on record tonight to have you guys consider not raising taxes for Montgomery County.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Beard. Is there anyone else that would like to come forward? Okay, seeing no one else, we'll close public address. And is there any addendum tonight, Ms. Hill?
No addendum this evening.
Okay, that takes us to items of consent. We have 3 items, and is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Okay, any discussion? All right, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Ms. Demotz? Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Mr. Kitts?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Fidzikowski?
Aye.
Chair Biggs?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Okay, and then that will take us down to new business, and our first item is our annual board member appointments to boards and commissions. So at this time, these have been sent out so that everyone had a chance to look at them and also to look at what the responsibilities would be. So I'm just going to start at the top, and Ms. Hill, just chime in if you need to.
Okay.
Okay? And we're going to start with the AFD Advisory Board. We do not have anyone currently on that board since Ms. Blevins was the representative before. Is there anyone that would like to serve on that board?
I can do that.
Okay. Sarah, all right. They don't meet very often, it's my understanding. All right, Chamber of Commerce liaison, that is the chair and the vice chair. So that would be myself and Mr. Fidzikowski. The county school liaison is the chair and the vice chair, but we do have an alternate position. And last year, Ms. DeMott, Supervisor DeMott, served in that capacity. Do you want to continue on that one?
Sure.
Okay. And that leads us to the Economic Development Commission. And of course, we have an opening there because Daryl Shepard was the member, and then Sherry served as the alternate. So we actually need a member and an alternate. And I think that Supervisor Kitts expressed some interest in that. Would you like to serve in that capacity?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anyone willing to be his alternate?
I'm happy to be the alternate.
Okay. All right. And then that leads us down to the Fairview District Home Board. Ms. Blevins was the member and Mr. King was the alternate. They meet 4 times a year, and I think it's the 3rd Thursday of the months that they meet. And we don't have anyone at this time that has shown an interest in that. Is there somebody that would like to take that on?
I'm happy to do it, unless somebody else wants to.
Is anybody else interested in that? Okay. All right. And Mr. King, are you willing to be the alternate? Yeah. Okay. All right. Legislative liaison, that's always been me because I always, sort of get on my soapbox about everything, but, and I'm willing to do that if you all want to have me continue to do that.
Sounds good.
And that takes us to the library board liaison, and that was Ms. Blevins, and so we need a member, and Ms. DeMott was the alternate, and I believe Supervisor Kitts has shown an interest in that. Would you like to do that?
I do not.
Okay, then yeah.
Do you want to be the alternate?
I do not.
Okay,
I'm happy to be the alternate unless somebody else wants to.
okay, because they meet every month. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, that leads us down to the MPO, the Metropolitan Planning Organization, and Ms. Bone, Supervisor Bone, she was the member, but I believe, and Ms. Blevins was the alternate, and then the county administrator serves, so that means are you going to be serving on that?
I believe that Craig was appointed to that.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
Craig's still going to do that.
Okay, so with that being said, I believe that Supervisor Kitts has shown an interest in that, and Supervisor Bone, is that okay with you if he does that?
Absolutely.
Okay, what about an alternate then?
I'm happy to be an alternate unless somebody else wants to do that.
So,
Do you want to do it, Anthony?
Sure, happy.
Okay.
Yeah, happy to.
So we'll put Supervisor Grafsky there. Okay. And then, favorite one, Montgomery County Sustainability Committee. We have Supervisor Demotz, and I know she wants to stay on that.
Yep.
And our alternate was Ms. Bone. Is there anyone that would like to, do you want to stay as alternate, or would someone else like to jump in there?
If somebody else wants to, that's fine. Otherwise, I'll do it.
Everybody okay with that? Okay. And Parks and Recreation Commission Liaison, we know that this is Supervisor Demont's passion, and I know that she wants to stay on that. And Supervisor Fidzikowski is her alternate, and I know he wants to stay in that position. So is everybody okay with that? All right. Now, Planning Commission Liaison, Supervisor Bone served in that position, but she's willing to let Supervisor King serve in that position. He has shown an interest. He was the alternate before. And then Supervisor Grafsky has shown an interest to be the alternate. Is that okay with everyone? Okay. And that takes us down to school liaison. And I guess I should really sort of explain this. Before the school board meetings were live streamed and everything, we actually had someone that would go to the meetings and observe the meetings and report back. And then that got to be such a big job for one person. We decided, well, if we were going to do that, we would just take turns doing it. But so we appointed someone that was sort of the in-charge person to let someone else know if they needed to go to a meeting. And I guess what I'm asking at this point, do you all still want to do it that way, or are you just as happy to, watch it on your own?
Yeah, I think everybody can watch it themselves.
I
if
mean,
they
how
want
do you
to.
guys feel about that?
Because,
I watch them all the time. I think we can all watch
Yeah,
'em.
I sort of watch them too, yeah. So should we let that one just go,
yeah,
Marty?
because
Can we just let that one go?
You and Steve are
Yeah.
part of the other liaison
Yes,
thing, and we always get a report out of that, and so.
Yeah, we always send a report from that. Okay,
We just remove that from this
Yes.
list from now on?
yep. And then the Transportation Safety Commission, I should say Vice Chair Fidzikowski serves on that and would like to continue. Is that
Yeah,
is
it's
that
one of my
correct?
favorites.
Okay, all right. And then for the Virginia Tech Liaison, that is the county administrator, so that would be Ms. Hill.
Yes.
Okay, now those were the ones that we needed to deal with right now. And then I believe Vice Chair Fidzikowski would like to bring up 2 other appointments.
Before we do that, do we need an alternate for the Transportation Safety Commission, or no?
No,
Yeah, they don't have one listed, so, okay,
no, we don't need it.
all right.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up 2 that I need to step back from. And the first one is the Regional Commission. The other one would be the Fire and EMS Commission.
Okay.
So if there's anyone that's interested in those.
And I believe Supervisor Kitts was interested in the Regional Commission, and Supervisor Grafsky was interested in the Fire and Rescue, but I think they both would like some support and communication, like, from Vice Chair Fidzikowski.
Be glad to.
Yep.
Fire and rescue.
Okay. Here.
Okay,
Sorry. Yeah, we were just talking, I think it's backwards. The fire and EMS for me and regional for him.
okay, when I talked to you guys individually, I thought it was the other way around. So what do you guys want to do? Is that what you guys want to do?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I'd rather be on the regional commission and then Derek to fire and rescue.
Okay. And the thought was that, since the regional commission met in Fairview, that might help you with, but you're okay?
Yeah, we kind of talked about that because of my history with the fire department, with my family, so it was a little more important to me. So Anthony was willing to work off with that one.
Okay. Is that okay with everybody? All right, so, and Vice Chair Fidzikowski can sort of,
Catch you up.
yeah, I think that's the proper way to explain it. Okay.
Madam Chair, if I may, can we vote on the annual one first and then do the one
And then
where
do
where
it.
Steve's stepping down because those are
Yeah, they're different.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
He just wanted to bring it up in the discussion.
okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So moved.
Okay, so Supervisor Bone just moved to go ahead and approve the ones that we talked about first. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Mr. Kitts?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Fidzikowski?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Chair Biggs?
Aye.
7 ayes.
And now we need a motion to appoint Supervisor Kitts to the Regional Commission. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
No,
No,
it's
no.
it's a
The other
fire
way.
and fire and rescue for Mr. Kitts.
That's why I have it listed wrong, I'm sorry. Okay, we're going to appoint Supervisor Grafsky
I
to the
rescind
Regional
my
Commission.
motion.
Okay,
And
there
I
you
make a
go.
motion for,
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, and roll call, please.
Ms. Bone?
aye.
Mr. Kitts?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Fidzikowski?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Chair Biggs?
Aye,
7
okay.
ayes.
And now we need a motion to appoint Supervisor Kitts to the Fire and Rescue
So
position.
moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, and could we have a roll call on that?
Mr. Kitts?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Fidzikowski?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Chair Biggs?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Okay, thank you. That worked out really well. And now we need to go to the second item. This is the appointment to the NRV Passenger Rail Station Authority. And I believe the way we have this set up, it's the chair and the vice chair. So we would need a motion to do that, to appoint me, and to also appoint Vice Chair Fidzikowski. Is there such a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All right. Roll call, please.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Kitts?
Aye.
Mr. Fidzikowski?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Chair Biggs?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Okay, and the next appointment is to the Social Services Board. Ms. Blevins served on that, and so there is an opening now, and I believe Supervisor Kitts had shown interest in that. Would you like to pursue that then? So we would need a motion
Yes.
for that? Okay,
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
okay. And could we do a roll call on that, please?
Mr. Kitts?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Fidzikowski?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Chair Biggs?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Okay, thank you. We got through those. And our next item, item D, is to amend our county's 2024 legislative priorities, and there's a resolution in there. And specifically, it wants to take out the support for school vouchers or tuition tax credit for elementary and secondary students who attend private and home schools, provide public school students with a voucher or tax credit to be spent on private school or home school tuition. Is there a motion
So
to do
moved.
that? Is
Second.
there a second? Any discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I think we all know from talking to our legislators that this particular priority that was put in here doesn't have any chance of getting passed. I think we all understand that. The reason why I've always supported it is because it gives parents, specifically poor parents, an opportunity to send their kids to a different school that they might do better at. I mean, there's all kinds of kids in this world, and some do better in, under certain circumstances than others. And I just wanted to give that a opportunity. Seeing that that's probably not going to happen this year, it's probably a moot point, but I think there are ways that the state can support that without taking money away from public schools. Yes, it would take public money, but I think that that could be worked out where it wouldn't affect public schools. I think the biggest fear to this priority is that a lot of students would opt for it. And I think that's the biggest fear. And that's too bad, because we're talking about kids' education. It's not about politics. It's about kids getting a good education.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Supervisor King?
Yep, well, I've always supported this, and Supervisor Steve said, I do appreciate that. You know, there's a lot of families out here that would like to send their kids to a private school or a home school, and they can't afford it. But everybody pays taxes, everybody. And I'm going to stand behind these people and support them as long as I can. And I'd like to ask the question, when's the last time we brought up to change our priorities in the middle of our year?
Well,
As long as I've been here, I don't remember us ever doing it.
right, it's never happened before, but they can be changed.
Well, I understand that. I don't know what the purpose of this is.
Well, I think probably the purpose is that you probably have new board members that maybe disagree with what we did in the first place. And you know how the rest of us felt about it when it came up. So, to be honest, it is a political issue, and it will probably continue to be one. But it was asked to be put on the agenda, and any board member can ask to have something put on the agenda. So that's why it's there tonight.
So are we going to start a precedent here and just say when we roll something to Richmond, we're going to start pulling stuff off of there? Is that what we're going to start? Until our next priority list comes out?
This is the only thing that is being pulled off.
It's one thing. We've never done it before.
But like Chair Biggs said, it's possible. And since the majority of the board probably is interested in pulling this off, because we are going to be the board for this year, it makes total sense, to me at least.
And I appreciate that, but Kent, I want everybody to think about this. If each one of us has a priority and it passes with the majority, that's the way we rule. If one of us other board members put something on the priority list, are y'all gonna get upset when we pull it off?
That's how it got on there in the first place, same difference.
No, what I'm saying is we've never done this before, never. So we're gonna start a precedent on
But
this.
we had never had a split board before either. And this is the thing that split our board vote.
Let me remind the ones that was here, when we went down this road on the cigarette tax, I have always voted against that, always. And I had board members come to me, well, we got a lot of other good stuff on here. Yes, we do, and I voted for it. But in the resolution, I said I was against the cigarette tax, and that's what happened this round. What I'm trying to figure out, a yes or no, is this the way we're going to start this?
Yes.
It is? Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to come out and say it. When the other party takes over down the road, you can't get upset when that party pulls something off of the priority list. Remember this
We
night.
completely understand.
Remember this night.
Just like we remembered the night 4 years ago or 6 years ago when, actually, 4 years ago, when this was put on the agenda, put on the legislative priorities.
That's 2021.
Yeah, same thing.
No, it's not the same thing.
I know it's not the same thing, but it's very similar.
How? We have never pulled anything off of our priority list in the middle of a year. We've never done it.
We've never put on or taken, we've never put something on that was so divisive that all of the board members couldn't agree on.
Yes, we did.
But some-
Cigarette tax.
Well, this is
I worked
more
with
divisive.
everybody.
This is more divisive than the cigarette tax.
Well, I think what we have to look at is that this is the board that's going to be going to the General Assembly to lobby. The other members that were on our board before are not.
Well, I
And
respect
so this is the
that.
board that will be carrying the legislative agenda forward. So I think that this is on there. We have a motion, we have a second. It's all proper. And I appreciate what you're saying, Supervisor King, because yes, it could come back a different way. Just as to Supervisor Bone's point, things were added in 2021.
And let's talk about the positive things about not having it on in our priorities. And that is, the reason why most of us didn't want it on the priorities in the first place is because the SOQs aren't fully funded, our schools are not fully funded. So until they're fully funded, we shouldn't divert monies that potentially could go to schools somewhere else.
Yeah, but whose fault is it the school's not fully funded? The state's.
Right, and
This
the
board,
state fits
this
the-
board funds the schools.
The state, these are our priorities for the state, for our schools to be fully funded, and no monies to be taken away from our schools.
All right, one more question. We've already had our legislation priorities sent to the members in Richmond. What good is it going to do to take it off now? It's already on the bottom who did not want it.
Because when we go to Richmond, we'll have a different bulletin made with
So
that
we're going
not
to spend
on
more
there.
taxpayers' money to make a new bulletin.
It doesn't
Is that-
cost very much money to print a letter.
So all you're going to do is just a letter? Not like we sent them the first
Idea,
time?
but like,
We
you know,
can work that out.
Are we going to send a letter or are we going to make another book like we sent them the first time?
I agree. I wouldn't want to spend too much money on that. It is one item.
We could attach a letter with it.
Well, I'll say it again. I am fully support this, and I do not support pulling it off. We've never done it before. Never.
Point taken.
And I'd like to reiterate the fact that we are able to pull it off. Our schools are not fully funded, and most of us want our schools to be fully funded and no money diverted that could go to our schools.
I'd like to call the question.
Yeah. Okay, the question has been called. And so, Madam Clerk, would you do a roll call on this? And the motion is to take that part off of the legislative agenda.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Mr. Fizikowski?
No.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Mr. Kitts?
Aye.
Mr. King?
No.
Chair Biggs?
Aye.
5 ayes, 2 no.
And so what we can do is note that when it was brought up and passed, it did not pass unanimously. It was a 5-2 vote.
And if you send them a letter, I want on the bottom of it, I did not support it.
Yeah. Like we did before with when we sent it. That's fine. Okay. All right, let's go down to the economic development appropriation. And before we have a motion on it. Do you need to say anything about this, Ms. Hill?
Yes, I can add a little bit of context to this. You may remember that every year we appropriate funds to the economic development incentives. It's $380,000. It's part of the general fund. Any dollars that are not spent at the end of the year roll into the economic development reserve. That reserve balance before this transfer is $403,569. The funds are needed for the EDA to pay to have the Falling Branch Phase 2 Lot 2 developed and graded and that kind of thing. So there is not sufficient funds to do this engineering and bidding, so that's what this would cover.
All right,
So moved.
all right, and do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussions, questions, or comments from Ms. Hill? All right, roll call.
Mr. Fidzikowski?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Mr. Kitts?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Chair Biggs?
Aye.
7 ayes.
All right, item F is the opiate abatement appropriation. Ms. Hill, would you like to say anything about that, or Mr. McMahon, before we make a motion to put it on the floor?
I can add a little bit, and Marty can chime in if he needs to. We have made a presentation to you about the Opioid Abatement Authority grant, the Recovery Ecosystem Project, and we also had an agreement that came before you that you approved for us to be the fiscal agent for this regional grant. This appropriation appropriates the grant funds through that program, and it also appropriates our direct payments from the settlements that the county received, which will be used as our match for the grant. Other jurisdictions who are participating in the program have direct payments too, but they're not going to flow through the county, so they'll have to appropriate those on their own.
Okay,
So moved.
and there's a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion or questions? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Fidzikowski?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Kitts?
Aye.
Chair Biggs?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Okay, and our last item under new business, G, very important one, is National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, which is January 9th this year, and so we have a resolution to that effect. We certainly do appreciate our law enforcement and want to make sure they know that. And so is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Mr. Kitts?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Fidzikowski?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Chair Biggs?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Okay, and that takes us down to reports. County Attorney, do you have a report tonight?
I have no report. I just wanted to offer my congratulations to Vice Chair Fidzikowski and Chair Biggs, and I look forward to working with you and the new board member coming year.
Okay, and County Administrator?
I would like to congratulate you two as well as the vice chair and chair of the Board of Supervisors and welcome the new members. We had orientation with the new members, Marty and Chris and I, and a lot of staff people went and helped prepare for that with Supervisor Grafsky and Supervisor Kitts on Thursday last week. As part of that, we prepared, our PIO office helped us prepare a document that's a Google Doc that we're going to send the link to you that has a lot of resources that you can click on, and then as they're updated, you can get that information as well. And the other thing I wanted to bring your attention to, on January 29th, which is the day that we had planned to have a school-county joint meeting, there's going to be an open house with the Virginia Passenger Rail Authority about the authority station. They're going to give some information and get input from the community. It's going to be held at the Blacksburg Community Center, and they will also start that day. It's going to run from January 29th through February 28th. There will be a survey that we can take, so I'll send you information about that as well.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, so that leads us to board member reports, and I believe we'll start with Supervisor Bone. Do you have a report today?
I do. I want to welcome our new colleagues. Thank you for winning your districts. Obviously, your districts are in favor of your opinions and points of view. And congratulations to Chair Biggs and Vice Chair Fidzikowski. Look forward to your leadership. I do want to talk a little bit about school budget and why there might be some confusion about it keeping up or being cut or whatever. Part of the problem of what we have in front of us is that the graphs that are produced by the county do not go back to before 2008, when the Great Recession happened. So if you start with 2006, 2007, and add inflation from where the school's budgets were, we have not kept up at all. But if you start from 2008 or 2014, it looks like we keep funding them and there's never been a dip. So please go back far enough and add inflation, and you'll see what some of us talk to. I want to change the subject completely. The other day, I went to the new Christiansburg Park over behind Walmart, and it is so cool. If you haven't been over there, it's so awesome. I want to commend the town of Christiansburg for doing such a great job, and I can't imagine what it's going to be like come the springtime. Man, kids, there are probably going to be hundreds of kids over there on the first warm day. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. Thank you.
Okay. Supervisor DeMotts?
Sure, thank you. So I'll start by congratulating Chair Biggs and Vice Chair Fidzikowski. You guys will make a great leadership team, so I look forward to this year with both of you guys in that role. Also, welcome to Derek and Anthony. It's good to have you, and I look forward to serving with you and getting to know both of you better. And then I do have one item to discuss, and this is kind of an interesting item. It's an ask for county staff. Some of our counties that surround us offer an interesting retirement benefit to employees that I think would be impactful. We've talked many times on this board about our benefits package, about making sure that our benefits package aligns with newer generation workforce, but I'd like to also talk about how our retirement benefits package could align with people that have been in the workforce with us much longer. When our employees, after 30 years of service, become eligible for full retirement under VRS, one thing that might be holding people back from being able to retire is the difference in their age at the time that they are eligible to retire and when they would be eligible for Medicare insurance. And during that window of time, however long it or short it may be, there's no gap coverage provided. And so I'd be very interested if we could look at costs or what some of our neighbors are doing. I know some neighboring counties do offer at certain tiers, say after 20, 25, 30 years of service. Some of our neighbors might offer 50% health insurance benefits to retirees. I would just be really interested to know what options we might have as a county to look at expanding that retirement benefit to some of our employees that have served with us for a very long time. So I'd kind of just lay that out there, hoping that we're able to have a work session in the future to discuss health insurance continuity for retirees after a great number of years of service.
We can do that. I know that the two towns do provide that benefit. I think that the maximum they pay is 50% after either 25 or 30 years of service, depending on the town, but we can get that information for you. We work with the actuaries that actually do a calculation related to this for our financial reporting to determine what the liability is, because now, as you know, retirees, before they're eligible for Medicare, can stay on our plan and they pay our blended rate, so they're actually getting some benefit because they're probably paying less than they would if they went out on their own. So we already have that information in place. We can get them to run some numbers and bring a presentation before you.
I would really appreciate it, and I'd like for us just to have the opportunity to discuss it and see if it's something that we could offer to enhance our benefits package.
Yes, we'll be glad to do that.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's it?
That's a great idea. Let's go to Supervisor Grafsky. Do you have anything you'd like to report?
Sure. Well, like my colleagues here, I'd like to extend my congratulations to Supervisors Fidzikowski and Biggs on your election to Vice Chair and Chair. I'd like to thank the county staff that met with us last week and put up with Derek and I's shenanigans, and for all the information that they offered up to us, and trying to get us off to a good start. So thank you for that. And then obviously just another big thank you to the voters in my district that are giving me this opportunity to be their voice and represent them and represent the county as a whole. I'm really looking forward to continuing to serve. The only thing that I did want to bring up just real quickly is in my community, there's the old Price's Fork Elementary School, that's been redeveloped over the years. A couple of the anchor tenants there, one of them was a restaurant that unfortunately ceased operations here a few weeks back. But we're real excited because there is a new operator moving into that space. And so I just bring that up to encourage folks, not only in District E and out the Price's Fork strand, but all over the county to come out and show your patronage for local small businesses and support Feast and Company as they get up and running, which I think should be later this month or in early February. And then another tenant there, Moon Hollow Brewing, will be hosting celebrating their 4th anniversary on Saturday, January 27th.
Oh, good to know. Okay, thank you. All right, that leads us to Supervisor King.
I don't have no report, but congratulations to the chair and vice chair, and welcome to the new board members.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Kitts.
Yeah, since I'm a man of few words, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody because the staff for the county has been amazing. I've been thoroughly impressed, and it's helped me ease me into this because while I'm a big person and believe in service, this is just an extension, but they made me feel at home. And for all the supervisors, especially I've had a chance to sit down with Supervisor King and Supervisor Fidzikowski, Supervisor Bond, we've sat before, Supervisor DeMont, and Supervisor Biggs, y'all have been amazing to us. Y'all have been, for me and Anthony, especially putting up with me, as Anthony said, it's been big. And even though that we may agree on some things and have different political perspectives, it's never hindered anything because we begin to realize that we agree on a lot more than we disagree on. And I think that's important. And I look forward to working with you two as a chair and vice chair. And I congratulate you on this and thank all the voters for giving me the opportunity to be their voice. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Vice Chair Fidzikowski.
Well, I think Yogi Berra said it once that this is deja vu all over again. Only our roles are reversed. So I look forward to working with you, Chair Biggs, in the upcoming year. And glad to have some new faces on the board. Look forward to some very interesting discussions this year. We won't always see eye to eye, but it ought to be interesting. And you were elected by your constituents to represent them, so I expect that's what you'll do. And that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. I look forward to working with Steve again. I served as his vice chair, so we sort of know how to work together. But I also want to welcome Supervisor Kitts and Supervisor Grafsky. I really appreciate what you said about the staff because they're always there to answer questions that you might have, as well as the other members of the team up here, like you can call on any of us. And I look at it as a team, that's what we do. So I think we're going to have a great year. And, you know, if you need anything, please, you know, give a shout out. If you see me doing something crazy, give another shout out, and I think everything will be fine. Any other further business? Well, oh golly, we are adjourned at 8:10. Okay. Thank you.